You rented 9,000 square feet just for yourself?
Just for content and for me to remain the champ without distraction.
Yeah, that's a significant investment. Why'd you need 9,000 square feet though? Like you couldn't.
I own a gym equipment company. I wanted every single piece.
I'm like, couldn't you have just got like, a garage gym and had enough?
Go big or go home, right?
I'm with you.
Now and me becoming friends, you'll soon realize that I don't do anything by half measures. If I'm going to train, I'm going to be a bodybuilder.
I got my good buddy, Flex Lewis. What's up, man?
My man, how are you? It's been a minute, huh?
It has been a minute. Last time I saw you, we were flying my first time on a private plane.
That's right. Yeah. And great conversations there and back.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I got to see you dance, to pull them dance moves out.
We were dancing.
No, you.
I was dancing. we went to this crypto event for Solana, and yeah, we had a blast.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was. First time I had the chance to meet you, of course, outside of what pops up on my feed.
Yeah.
Great first impression.
And then I ended up joining the lair, dude.
You did.
The Dragon's Lair, Flex's gym.
Yeah. Tell people what time you train in the morning.
Well, then they're going to come.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Well, since the gym opens up at 4, then there's,
I'm there very early. No, I mean, people could see it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I work out there at 6, and I'm always like, Flex, never see you, dude. You sleeping, man?
No, I'm awake. I got a 2-month-old.
Yeah.
And sorry, a 7-year-old and yeah, a couple-month-old. So
yeah,
it's definitely fun and games.
Yeah. Well, I got to call out. How many Mr. Olympias have you won?
7.
7-time Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
He's just not working out hard enough, man. It is what it is.
To be honest, it's the new chapters in life now. So
yeah,
as I said, I am awake. I am just not speaking English until 10 a.m.
Yeah.
People probably are like, what the hell? Is he speaking English right now? But I normally get to the gym after I drop my daughter off. And literally you are peacing out by since you've already told the time,
out at 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah.
Walking into your empire.
I'm walking into the empire trying to just grow, baby.
I can see it, man. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Love seeing what you've created. This is very evidential now walking in here for the first time.
Yep.
And seeing what you've created. And as I've said off camera, it's very motivating.
I appreciate that, bro.
Absolutely.
So for those wwho don't know who you are, I've already said you're 7-time Mr. Olympia. I remember when we were on the plane, you were telling me your story a little bit about, you hired your first mentor when you were like 18 and you're like, I want to work out. Like, how did it go about?
Well, with the bodybuilding or on the business side of things? Bodybuilding first, right?
Yeah. And by the way, for everyone listening, Flex has a lot of business endeavors I want to jump into. But yeah, how did you get started on the bodybuilding side?
I was always fascinated with muscle coming from a country of Wales, just to throw that out there. People think I'm from Alabama, but from Wales, the UK.
Oh man, that's surprising.
I know.
I thought you were from
Killed a lot
Alabama.
of dreams there, right? I came to this country when I was 19 for the first time. But the passion for bodybuilding started, I think, subconsciously at a very young age. My uncle was about 8 years older than me. He'd watch WWF wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd sneak down, stay in my grandparents' house, and I'd watch wrestling. At that point in time, it was like 2, 3 in the morning because it was too violent for TV.
Okay.
And watching Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, that era, early 90s.
Yep.
And I think that kind of, as I said, subconsciously put something into my brain at a very young age.
To be freaking huge.
I don't know. I think it just was an interest. And playing rugby, and I've always been an athlete all my life from a very young age. Flex is a nickname I've had since 6 years old. So nothing to do with bodybuilding. And again, that kind of led my path towards, well, I would say rugby built my frame up. I done rugby, I run for my country. I was a sprinter. I did 100-meter sprints. I played in the wing.
Wow. And
I played for a very high-level rugby too. And my path was really destined for rugby.
Were you, sorry to cut you off,
okay.
But were you one of the few bodybuilders who was like an athlete before that?
I think there's several. A lot of guys have transitioned from football from injuries.
Okay.
But rugby, they put you on the weights very young.
Yeah.
Because there's no pads. So you got to have a very tough physical structure and it's a very physical game. I love the game.
Mm-hmm.
But how it goes full circle, at 19, I was in the gym powerlifting. I seen a bodybuilding poster on the wall. The gym owner said, listen, if you do this show, Mr. Wales, it was a bodybuilding show, I'll give you a free gym membership.
Right.
And I'd done so many sports, like I said, gymnastics, track and field, rugby. I said, how hard can this be? To this day, hardest diet, hardest thing I've ever done, because I bought a Flex magazine, went to the local store, picked it up, looked at it. There was a diet in there. I was like, oh, this can't be hard. And literally I followed I would say the bones of that diet and dissected pretty much all the carbs from it. Nobody, no coach or anything like that. It was just me, myself, and a magazine. And the guys in the gym giving me kind of pointers. And fast forward, I ended up jumping on that stage. I was like, this is it. You know, there was no dream of me standing up there in a pair of Speedos from a very young age. It was more the fascination from bodybuilding. And then I guess I won my first show. I was done. Walking to the car with my parents. I had won the Mr. Wales Junior and the Novice class, big classes. Bodybuilding is very popular in the UK. And this gentleman follows me to the car and pretty much says, hey, you need to do the British Nationals. Obviously representing your country, Wales, against England, Scotland, Ireland.
Right.
Give the whole Braveheart speech in front of my parents. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, represent Wales. And he asked me who had helped me with my diet. And I said, I've done it myself. So he offered me. And that is my coach to this day, 19 years later.
Wow.
I believe in loyalty. I believe the grass isn't greener. And you'll see that with everything I do in life. You know, obviously people come and go, don't get me wrong. But if you've been loyal to me, when I eat, you eat.
I love it. So you win this bodybuilding championship young. You finally get a coach after. You had mentioned earlier wrestling. Did you not have any ambition to try and get into wrestling at all?
Well, funny you should ask that. After I won the Welsh, there was a gentleman that started blowing me up on email about coming to the United States. And I was like, this guy, who the hell is this guy? Who wants to bring somebody to the United States? Come to find out, again, full circle story, it was a gentleman called Ed Connors who purchased Gold Gym off Joe Gold. So the Gold's Gym you see right now in Venice, he started that franchise up. He was head of franchises, and he ended up flying me out to the United States. And I got to stay in his house. And literally, I walked into the room in the house where there was a lot of other athletes staying there, wrestlers as well, bodybuilders, kind of like a frat house in a sense. Well kept.
A jack frat house.
The beach in Santa Monica.
Yep.
Multi-million-dollar house. And literally, I asked, you know, I'd love to get into wrestling. And he told me, well, funny enough, the guy who was in this room prior to you used to work for me on the front desk at Gold's Gym. He's just gone into a competition called Tough Enough. And I asked who that guy was. And at that point in time, that name would have flown over my head. But come to find out years later, I moved in as this guy moved out, John Cena.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, wrestling was mentioned. I asked, what's the chances of me wrestling? How tall are you? 5'6", on tiptoes. And he was like, no chance. And for me, Rey Mysterio Jr., who's also a Vegas resident, who's been to the gym, he's a flag flyer for us short guys. But he said, nah, it's not going to happen. So my dreams of being a wrestler were cut.
And Rey Mysterio was also like lean and like just flying all over the place.
I'm smaller back then, though. Come on, bro.
Okay. All right.
I didn't blow up to 260 at that point in time.
5'6", 260. That's what you got to at your peak?
Yeah. I'm like 210 right now. I've lost, since I think I seen you last, I probably dropped about 20, 30 pounds.
Yeah,
purposely.
yeah. You definitely have dropped weight.
Yeah. But
you're looking better though, like I think.
I feel great.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a purpose to this.
What's the purpose now?
Longevity and health and wealth. You know, there's a lot of different buckets to tick now, and my goal was to be the best bodybuilder in the world.
Yeah.
And that comes with a daily monotonous craft of food, you know, consumption, which we can get into, which is ungodly.
Yep.
Training once to twice a day. Rest is most adequate. A lot of these things I fought hard, every category, in fact, because I don't like to rest. I don't like to sit still, as you know from the short time you were around me. Yep. I like to go, which is not good.
Yep.
Like a baby, a bodybuilder grows when he sleeps and rests. Food consumption, 7 meals a day. You know, I was eating at one point in time 10 ounces, 8 to 10 ounces per meal of any type of meat. Steak, chicken, turkey.
What about raw liver?
Never done that.
I got Liver King coming on here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he hit me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to come over to the gym. And
he's definitely coming to the gym. I'll come when he comes, and we'll all lift together.
Not that whatever time you disclose to the fans.
Yeah, we'll get a pump in. Yeah, he cracks me up.
He's that I will say this, like, love the guy or hate the guy, whatever it is, he's done an incredible job of building his brand up.
Oh yeah,
And
really
you
good.
cannot knock that. You know, a lot of people, you know, we're going on to you can say about Jake Paul and Logan Paul and stuff like that. I think people hate people just because they've got success, but they don't realize what it takes to stay in front of your feed and your content you're producing and all the small little things that are so time consuming. You know, again, people just hate people just because, right?
Yeah.
And Liver King, for me, I don't know his story, his ins and outs. From what I do know, you know, he's done a great job of branding himself. You know, how long the ride will last for, I don't know, because it has to be evolution to everything, right? Was he going to triple his liver intake every day or what? But you know,
well, I'm gonna find out when he's here. I gotta know the real story of just
get it out of him,
how all this came about.
Yeah, it's because to me, it just blew out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not about Liver King, it's about Flex Lewis. Let's go.
Let's keep this about Flex.
For everyone who doesn't know me, I'm a ball buster shit talker. So yeah. Anyways.
Okay, so back to Flex.
So obnoxious. No.
Tell me about, you know, you mentioned they don't know the amount of work it takes, right? Yeah. People don't know the amount of work it takes for my business to get to where I've gotten, you know, way before social media, right? And you briefly mentioned your amount of work you put in to become 7-time Mr. Olympia. Like, what was a normal day for you like back at the peak?
It's kind of evolved over the years because now I have my daughter, who's now turning 7 tomorrow.
Right.
During that time, pre my daughter, I used to think, oh my gosh, I have no time. But then when you have kids, it's like, oh, you really realize just
now
like,
I have no time.
Like, yeah, what was I talking about, you know? But let's just say, as is most recent with my daughter, so I would get up, I would do my cardio. By the time that I've finished all my cardio, I'm straight into emails and calls. I try to do as much as I can whilst on the treadmill. And then start getting my daughter ready for school, take my daughter to school, head straight to the office. From there, I work until my first training session. So that is working on all the brands, the business, you know, doing.
This is now or when you were competing?
Competing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you know, working out and all that stuff was like, I mean, you were going full on business.
I'm very hands on with everything I do.
Yeah.
So I'd work with my videographer, my editor on getting the right post, image, video out, editing, micromanaging certain things.
So just basically all your pics are Photoshop.
Never. I know if there's any Photoshop photos, it's because I haven't done it. Because I would do them better. But yeah, there's a few of them floating around, nothing to do with me. And in between all this stuff too, there's meal consumption too.
Right.
So I am literally staring at a plate.
That's got to be the hardest part.
Man, it's
like the workouts. I feel like everyone likes working out. Like I enjoy working out. Like that to me doesn't seem like the hard part.
Well, my workouts weren't likable.
Okay.
They were horrendous, but they were not as hard as the meals.
Right.
I would literally look at meal one and it would take me so long and I would just eat it so slow with a spoon. I would chop everything up so fine and small just so I can shovel it in and water it down.
Why not just like blend it? Did you ever do that?
Many times. I've blended chicken breast and rice, steak and rice.
Yeah.
The stuff I had to do to stay on top is, you know, things that I never want to even go down again. But when you don't have an appetite, you got to find a way.
Right.
And I literally have drunk chicken breast and rice with ketchup. There's been many times. So we're talking now, if we speak, you know, going back to the story, we're talking 2 meals in. I train. I have a very heavy carb shake, which has probably got about 150 grams of carbs in it.
Right.
With aminos and everything else. I finished that. I have a protein shake. An hour later, after that, I'm in the office again and I'm being reminded to eat my first meal after working out. So that's 3. And then as the day goes on, depending on what we're shooting, if we're, again, remember I had a 9,000 square foot private facility. It wasn't open to the public. So what you see at the Dragon's Lair right now, I had in Boca Raton, the exact same style. Great graffiti.
You rented 9,000 square feet just for yourself?
Just for content and for me to remain the champ without distraction.
Wow. So that's and
Mhm.
yeah, that's a significant investment.
It was, but
Why'd you need 9,000 square feet though? Like you couldn't
I own a gym equipment company. I wanted every single piece.
I'm like, couldn't you have just got like, a garage gym and had enough?
Go big or go home, right? I think
I'm with
you
you.
now and me becoming friends, you'll soon realize that I don't do anything by half measures. If I'm going to train, I'm going to be a bodybuilder.
Hey,
you know?
I'm not hating on it. I'm just
No.
keep playing devil's advocate of people listening. Like,
Yes.
why would you need 9,000 square feet for no one but you?
Well, it came with a lot of perks. I'll tell you what. I have a lot of VIPs that I was able to open the doors for that came with big fan bases,
Right.
crazy audiences. I couldn't train in regular gyms. So having that door opened, give myself and that person an hour and a half, 2 hours to network, to talk,
Yeah.
and to become,
friends, and
Yeah.
you guys do things together. It pay for itself.
it 15 times over, 20 times over.
It's like me in this studio. It's like, why do you need this, big of a studio? Well, because it will.
Yeah.
I've talked to many people right there on this couch that, we've ended up doing things.
Yeah. My point. So I guess there's the stereotype with bodybuilding that I can't stand. I've never wanted to fit the stereotype. I've gone the complete opposite. I'm pretty much covered up other than shorts, which show my calves and my forearms. You never see me in a tank top walking around. Even today now I'm wearing a jacket, which I'm going to take off soon because it's getting hot in the studio.
But why not just freaking...
I don't know, mate. I've never been that guy. And I think it's also helped the ability for me to go into different sectors and markets. People know that I'm big.
Yeah.
But because I'm not like flaunting it and,
Yeah.
trying to showcase, hey, we know you're big in the t-shirt, the 3X t-shirt, even though your arm's not out.
Are you still wearing 3Xs?
Yeah.
5'6", wearing a 3XT.
Oh man, I was 4 at one point.
That's crazy.
I know. It was like a dress to me though. My arms were tight in it. I'll take this jacket off so we can.
Yeah, take it off.
Yeah.
It flexes.
Is this where you put the music over me?
Yep, this is the music.
Yeah, my
That's the 3XT, and your arms are popping out.
Yeah, the 3X. But
dude, I honestly, that jacket hides everything. I did not realize you were still that big.
I love that though.
Yeah.
I love that because it's a stereotype, right? Imagine you and I in a meeting and you see me coming in now with a painted on t-shirt.
Right.
You'd be like, oh, this guy.
Yeah, but my t-shirts are painted on because I wear medium.
I can get you into 2X soon, man. Who
wait.
wants to see the Project Ryan happening? We'll just put another business on the wall.
Hey, if I wanted to like get super, okay, so right now I'm 180, right?
Yeah.
If I wanted to be like 200 bodybuilder, how long would it take?
Realistically,
yeah,
20. You got to remember, there's 20 pounds on the frame. So if I give you 20 bags of sugar, all consisting of a pound each, that puts in perspective, right?
Right.
You got to do it over time, mate, because you got to let your body acclimate, your joints acclimate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're going into the gym and you can put weight on fast, but it's not going to be good weight.
Right.
You're going to lose this little chiseled face of yours.
I can't do that, dude.
You can't do that, bro. I've got mine back coming soon, so it's like I'm actually enjoying the fact that I got cheekbones.
Yeah. So
yeah. How long? Sorry.
Yeah, but like how long? If I was like, you know what, Flex, I don't care. I'm okay having a square face, and I want to just get huge.
I would say 6 months for you to be like, for people to be holy shit. A year.
Yeah.
For people to be like, man, my God, what the hell have you been?
But to that point, you have to like go all in every day. Like that's no cheating. That's just
I will say everything that you're doing right now will suffer.
Yeah.
You can't be all in and still,
film podcasts,
own an empire. No.
Do the
Even
business.
the food clouds your mind. You're not sharp anymore. Like for me, when I was doing all my businesses, I'd be like, okay, I got to drink an energy drink before I even jump on this call.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got, right now with all my businesses, just over 200 staff employees.
Wow.
Yeah, in all the endeavors I've got going on. So not that I manage all these people. I've got
but you got to be mentally
groups.
Sharp.
Yes, I've got to be.
Yeah.
And that's just the business, and then the brand stuff, like what we're doing right now. And obviously it's a little bit of a hybrid, but you got to be on. And now I'm eating like 2 or 3 meals a day, 4 meals sometimes. I got to watch. I eat 4 meals, I start blowing up.
Really?
It's wild.
Wow. Because your body is used to being so much bigger that it's like, oh, it's
Yes.
time to grow.
It's like, hey, feed me.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, we love you. And I'm like, no,
No, we're
control
done.
yourself.
We're going to 190. We're done
Yes.
with this.
210 right now. I don't want to get any smaller.
Okay, 210's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're good where you're at.
Yeah. But I did say, to circle back, I did say on the plane, I will help you in any way you want. It's like you have offered me your expertise, and I'll gladly take you on it one
Yep.
day. But I've offered yours and offered you mine. And you've got a great trainer, right? I guess, still, maybe.
He is great, but we're now just training on our own again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let that part out. But again, if you ever need my help,
Yeah.
if you want to put on 5 pounds, that will change your physique tremendously. And we'll make sure your face stays nice and lean too.
Okay. In your opinion,
Yeah.
okay, you know my lifestyle and what I got to do. But I want to be more jacked and like, okay, let's just say this. Let's say out of, the world of YouTube, I was about to go to a boxing match, and I'm like, yo, Flex, I'm going to be exposed. Like, I got to get jacked and ripped for this match. What would you say I would do?
Well, if you had a strength and conditioning coach, which I'm sure you would go all in if you was to do that, hypothetically speaking, unless
it's in the works.
Unless it's in the works. I'm not pushing any buttons. But it's all going to be, your food consumption is all going to be around your training. So there's going to be an element of the weight training. There's going to be fuel for you in a different format to get you through your boxing training, because it's high in calories. You're going to burn a lot of calories. So if you're trying to add muscle and increase athletic performance, there's this fine line, right? Now, if you just focused on the hypertrophy side of things and trying to put muscle tissue on, then the meals that would be programmed in your diet would be fuel your body for, fuel your body after. And even just the change in that. How many meals are you eating right now a day?
I eat like 3, main meals and then 2 shakes.
So you're on a very good routine right now, by the sound of it.
Yep.
So just moving things around, maybe increasing, to a 6 meal, whether it was in a format of a shake, or it came in the solid, or you ate 4 and you had a shake, that would significantly.
So here's what I've seen, and maybe it's because I eat more of bad food, but every time I eat more, I'm like, I get soft. Like, I'm just like, I get fatter.
Yeah.
Is it just because I'm not eating the right foods or what?
Well, like everything, there's a purpose to having a day where you go all out. Right. I truly believe that all my preps would have been significantly worse had I probably wouldn't have done 7 had it not been for the coach I've had. He's a big believer in balance in life.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Me going in to the gym and waking up that day, my focus was to be the best in the world, to be Mr. Olympia. When it came to that cheat day, it was very hard for me to cheat.
Yeah, because you're like, this is going to make me worse.
But it didn't. And as many years as I've been doing this, he would still be on my ass about having a cheat meal or a cheat day.
He had to force you to cheat.
Force me. And I could call my wife right now and she could give you about 20 circumstances plus more stories about how he has literally called my wife at a restaurant and said, FaceTime you right now. I don't believe he's eating.
Tell him he needs to eat the cheesecake. I'm going to watch him eat it.
You've heard the story?
No.
That was part of it.
Oh, really?
Yes. He was like, I need him to eat a dessert. And if you're at the cheesecake, I want you to have a cheesecake and I want you to see a photo of him eating it. Because again, I would put so much work in. I'd be so excited for this day, whether it was a Saturday or a Sunday. Come that Saturday morning, I'd already talked myself out of it. Friday night, I was like, I can't wake up. I'd wake up earlier than what I was supposed to.
Right.
Just to get my cardio session in, really push hard, knowing that I was going to have a refeed that day.
Right.
And then come down to it and be like, I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't deserve it. And I'm on death's door. Like, I'm done. Like, you never got to see me in competition phase. People who was around me call me Prep Lewis.
Prep Lewis.
Because I would guess I was a little difficult.
He's in prep mode. Just ignore him.
Yeah. My cheekbones are out. I had death face. 6 weeks out. But one thing I will say about bodybuilding that no book, no mentor could ever teach me is the basics of putting your heart back to front and just going for something. It's incredible.
Yeah.
That's made me a better fill in the gaps businessman, father, family guy, husband, just from me being the bodybuilder from 19 years old now to 38.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of discipline you build is unbelievable. You know, I tell people that all the time in my career. They're like, how do you balance all these businesses and family and stuff? And I'm like, do you realize that for 8 years, I played professional baseball, making $1,200 a month, training, trying to run a business, you know, be married, be away from home. And like, I had to balance all these things. It's like, this is easy.
This is perks.
Yeah. So
this is over the hill. You know, of the mountain you were climbing up was a daunting one, but you know, this is make or break. You know, what is greatness, right? If you was to say this, what is great? People will say, oh, you're, you know, for me as in my bodybuilding space, they say that I was the greatest 212, right? But you break the word up, greatness, and greatness is discipline, right? You're turning up every single day in pursuit of something that in many cases we might not even get. And I've just retired now after doing this since I was 19.
Wow.
And I still feel there was so much more in the tank, but I retired on top, undefeated, on my terms, not an injury, not a coach, not a sponsor or whatever else. It was on my terms. And I think there's so much more great things for me to do in life that bodybuilding kind of took away from me, the businesses and everything else. But on the other side of things, it's allowed me to open so many different doors. And because I've never allowed myself to be the cliche, I'm an athlete mentality. You know, my roller index of people are not just in the sport of fitness.
Yeah.
You know, like this podcast, right?
Yep.
This isn't a bodybuilding podcast. In fact, I don't do bodybuilding podcasts. I find them very mundane, and it's the same with things like, how can you build 23-inch arms? You know, it's like, it's like the same story you've heard all the time. Talk about business. Curls. Yeah, let's talk about things that a lot of people can really get their head behind. Yes, people, you know, recreationally train at the gym. I think that right there, getting people to the gym as a business owner is fundamental. It has to happen. To be a better anything, you have to look after yourself first, right? You have to be the greatest version of yourself.
I tell people that, I mean, that's what the wealthy way is all about, right? Helping people live a more balanced, you know, life and, you know, achieving true wealth, right? Because if you get all the money in the world and you're fat and you're obese and you're going to die sooner, like it doesn't matter, right? So at the end of the day, I always say the reason I can outcompete people is because I'm in shape. Like I take care of myself. I'm at the gym at 6 a.m. making it happen and, you know, all that. So with entrepreneurs, right? I mean, you see a lot of entrepreneurs who work out at your gym.
So
I didn't even realize like basically everyone does, you know, it's crazy. Like, why do you think they're attracted to the gym?
Like-mindedness.
Yeah.
You know, you get to see somebody that is, the gym is a very unique gym, right? I mean, obviously you train there, but has a lot of athletes, a lot of different celebrities, influencers, so many different new terms and acronyms, when, you know.
Yeah.
But I think when you've got a like-mindedness and you're looking up in the middle of a set and you've got, you know, somebody that is really big on YouTube or TikTok, and then you've got somebody that's training for the Mr. Olympia, and then you've got somebody with 300 pounds on a weight transformation journey.
Right.
You're surrounded by motivation.
Yeah.
And it's allowed that sort of that foundation has now allowed other people to find out about us. And in the short case of a year and a half, right now we're the #1 day pass in the entire country.
Wow.
So we have athletes that are literally flying in for camp and staying 3-4 months. We've got people that literally moved across the street from other states to be at the gym so they can, you know, succeed in their goals and dreams in life in whatever genre of sport they're in. So we're not a bodybuilders gym. If you look at the Instagram, yes, it can look daunting because that's the core market of what we
They need to take a picture of me.
Bro,
Actually,
I've told them.
you might they might confuse me for that bodybuilder. Like I don't. It just probably adds to the problem.
I heard my staff asked you, and you said it was pretty costly.
It was pretty costly to get him on.
You're like, you said, when Flex does my podcast, I will lend my image.
You may use my image once he finally holds up his end of the bargain.
I don't think anybody's taking photos at 4 o'clock in the morning when you're training there, to be truthfully honest with you, mate. So
I don't even know if you have staff there. The door's just open.
I do have staff, but none of them, they're taking photos the wrong way around. So no, but yeah, it's been very unique and such a blessing.
I mean, the gym is doing so great on social and just everything else.
Real quick, if you haven't heard, my book, The Wealthy Way, is coming out December 13th. I have been working on this book for years, and I'm super excited about it, and I want to have a massive launch, and I need your help. So here's what we are going to do. You can actually pre-order the book on Amazon right now on the Kindle version. And the best part is that Kindle version is only going to be 99 cents. Now, this book is a lot more valuable than 99 cents, but I want to get it in everyone's hands. So you can support by ordering it there right now. Now, on December 13th, you can get access to the paperback, you can get access to the Audible and all that good stuff. But that's not all we're doing. If you want to really support and leave a review for the book, I'm actually going to be giving away a free course that I created called Business Builder Academy. This is teaching everyone how to start a business from start to scratch, how to figure out your branding, your products, sales, marketing, everything that I've done to start up all of my businesses, I've put into this academy, and I'm gonna give it to you completely free as long as you leave a review on Amazon. So think about it. You can go buy the book for $1, leave a review, and get a course worth thousands. So if you want to support and you want to get access to that, go to wealthywaybook.com, okay? wealthywaybook.com. You'll be able to go pre-order it. You'll be able to submit proof of your review, and you're going to get access to that course. So I appreciate all you guys. Let's have a huge launch for this book and change some lives.
I'm curious, the economics of running a gym, right? Like, how profitable is it running a gym? Like, tell me about it.
This is the first public gym I've ever opened. So I just done a conference with World Gym Convention in LA about 3 weeks ago, and the questions was like, how can we make our gym so successful, Flex? One of basically layman's question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I helped them from the social media standpoint, but in terms of getting athletes in through the doors, it's location. There was a reason why I moved from Boca Raton in a closed gym to Vegas. I seen the opportunity. I seen the growth in the city. I'm also sponsored by Monster, so I spent a lot of time out here on the West Coast, and I lost a lot of opportunity on the West Coast on TV and whatever else.
Because you were on the East Coast.
Because I was on the East Coast.
Right.
So when I came here, and give you more of a backstory, myself and my wife flew out here during the peak of COVID. I mean, it was a freaking nightmare.
Oh, you moving to Vegas is recent. Wow.
I started looking at properties year one of COVID.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Because we were just like, we know we've got something. I mean, just to, again, give you more context. When I had my facility, because of the growth and because the VIPs that trained down, people started posting and dropping the geographic location, the pin.
Yep.
We had fans turning up on the way to Disneyland, literally landed in Miami, drove an hour to us, landed in Fort Lauderdale. We had people crying on the doors of the gym asking to come in. And because of the athletes we brought in too. So for camp, I would bring in various different athletes to aid me.
Right.
And they would stay in the properties across the street. And we train once or twice a day. So during COVID, I had my private facility. Mm-hmm. But then we realized that, and over the course of a number of, a year, we had that location for 7 years. Over the course of a number of years, especially in the last year, prior to COVID, people were sleeping in their cars outside the gym waiting to meet athletes that were training at the gym. So me and my wife were like, we got something here.
Yeah. Now,
do we keep it in Florida or do we move it? So when COVID happened and everything shut down, me and Ali were like, okay, let's jump in a plane and see what we can see, in outside of the state. And one of my best friends lives out here too, and he's very involved with the city of Las Vegas with production and stuff like that. He does big stuff.
Yep.
HBO boxing, WWE, UFC. He was like, come out here. We're gonna take over. And I was like, okay. So I came out here the first time, and it was inconspicuous. Didn't want to see anybody. Landed, took a photo with a fan straight away. I was like, please don't post this. Within 15 minutes, it was up. And everybody's messaging, were you in Las Vegas? Everything's closed down. The whole strip was closed, which was ghost town. It's unbelievable. It's crazy, as I'm sure you've seen. But we looked for locations, looked at different areas, and then we found the property on the second time we came out, and the property that we've seen right now, along with our house. We looked for a property for the gym first before our house. And we got in literally on the house. By the time we were here a week, by the time that we left and we were on the plane, 2 of the houses of the 8 were off the market. And we realized, and this is before that crazy spike. We need to move fast in this. We need to do this decision. So we got the house. So we got the gym, we got location, we got the house, we got 2 buildings. So try to get 3. What was the question again? I told myself out of it. Sorry.
Well, I think it's great. I was asking originally just kind of like the profitability of the gym.
Yes. Yeah. So I got off the point. Sorry, but the reason why I mentioned the World Gym Convention is I've built something completely different and unique. When COVID happened, it was like the perfect storm.
Right.
Everybody in Gold's Gym Venice, which is full of celebrities. I said I was opening my gym in Las Vegas. I would say 80%, 75% of them moved across from California to Vegas. So I already had social media presence from that abundance of people. Champions in whatever genre. And then as
they're all talking about the gym, so it blows it up.
I haven't put $1 into marketing to this day.
Yeah.
Social media is being our everything. So in terms of profitability, we're probably going to make about 7 figures this year.
Wow. Yeah. Net profit.
Well, net, I'd have to go back in the books, but I would say high 6.
Yeah, that's awesome. So with the gym, where's the majority of the profit come from? Is it just membership fees?
We have day passes. We have a secondary spend is the store, which does incredible.
The store crushes.
The brick and mortar overtakes the online presence.
So you have the product online. That's your brand that you're wearing right now.
So again, you got to remember, because of the tourism. People come into the gym. You've been to Gold's Gym Venice, I'm sure, right?
I'm not a bodybuilder. I haven't been.
Okay, you don't have to be, but
actually, I am a bodybuilder. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I've been there.
So we'll edit that. You've been to the Gold's Gym Venice, right?
Yeah, I've been there.
There we go. So if people would go to Gold's Gym, myself included, when I got off the plane, I wanted the Gold's Gym t-shirt, Venice Goals.
Right.
If you're in the fitness space,
you got to
collect them t-shirts. So the same thing with the Dragon's Lair. We've got multiple colors and stuff. And as we were speaking off camera, prior to going on air, my wife used to be in fashion. So she handles all the store. Because for me, it's going to be black and red. That's it.
Yeah.
And all these pastel colors and stuff. Babe, that's not going to sell. Bestseller.
Love it. I love it too.
Yeah, colors like your shoes and colors like my shoes sell, I guess. But that shows my fashion-esque. I'm trying to be a lot more fashion-esque
You're
now.
wearing black and white.
I know. But I had a little bit of color.
Yeah. So you have the Dragon's Lair swag,
yes,
which you say sells a ton.
Yes.
At the actual gym.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't really sell online.
No, it sells online, but it was the only... So when I had the private facility, people were buying the Dragon's Lair swag.
Okay.
Without even being able to train at this gym.
Right.
It said Dragon's Lair, Boca Raton, Florida, and people were purchasing that online. So when we moved it to a brick and mortar store, the online presence still was there, but the brick and mortar far out, outshined the online, because we've got people coming in and want a tangible gift to take back.
Right.
And wear and rock. And again, that's another thing that we've been able to scale the gym from
So you guys, the clothes do well. I mean, obviously you got a high recurring per month with all the memberships.
Yeah.
You guys have training.
Yeah, we got trainers within that facility. We have a specialty massage therapist.
Yep, I've seen that. Yep.
That called the torture room.
The torture room.
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet.
No, but he's incredible. I actually got him from Seattle, Washington. I headhunted him and I told him, it's like, you need to be a...
Yep.
I know, his business has been able to scale tremendously because he's getting the athletes that he'd never be able to get in Seattle, Washington on his table. And of course, same thing then, marketing wise. So we had 6 offices, and 3 of them now, which I could have rented out, are used for stock.
Got it.
I got my manager's office, and then I've got a posing room, which is a crazy entity in itself. The posing room brings traffic into the gym.
The posing room is not apart from the, or it's different from the gym, but it's inside the gym.
It's inside the gym. Yeah, it's a.
What does the posing room do?
Well, what it does for me is eliminate people posing naked in my gym. That's one. That's one thing.
You want to go pose naked, you got to pay extra. It's over here.
So we've got the posing room, which is being tailored with specialty lights, kind of like your studio here. It is able to allow the athletes, female, male, to stay consistent in lights. Now, a lot of people will pose in daylight in a certain area in the gym, but if you have consistency to your lighting, you know, if you're sending or working with an online coach, you can send them photos. And also the gym, the posing room, excuse me, has very unique mirrors where they're angled from, corners to top. So what I mean by that is if you're doing a back shot or you want to see yourself from the back, you have angled mirrors that will allow you to see. So the whole room is full of mirrors.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's it cost to use the posing room?
It's free. It's part of the membership.
Oh.
Yeah. Now you're discovering this?
I don't usually go and pose.
There is a camera in there for legal reasons, so don't be doing anything funky in there, mister.
I'm going to go in the posing room. I got to
I can get some B-roll for you guys if you want. Do you want some B-roll? I'll send it over to you. He's nodding.
Yep.
But then there's another room which you just discovered too.
Yeah.
So there's a gym within a gym.
Yeah.
And that is the Arsenal Strength showroom.
Yeah.
And the Arsenal Strength showroom is completely different color scheme to the gym, the Dragon's Lair gym. In fact, it's two different color schemes. It's literally cut down the middle where we have a matte black to showcase, the standard color. And then on the other kind of split in the room, the other side is.
Why would I work out in that one over the normal gym?
There's no public access in that room.
Oh.
Yes, it's a showroom for just for potential customers or pre-existing customers. So we fly our sales team in because we don't have a sales team on the West Coast. We fly them in. We have back-to-back meetings. We just done a big sales day.
Okay.
A couple of days ago.
Customers for like training.
Customers for gym equipment purchase.
Oh, for gym equipment purchase.
Yes. So the purpose of that room, to give you more context on that too, is having the gym owner come into the gym. They get to see the Dragon's Lair, which everybody loves. They all want everything to look like the Dragon's Lair. Most of these people are in my space anyway, so they get to train, see their favorite pros, go into the pose into the showroom without any distraction, get on the pieces because they're kind of our top 20.
Yeah.
And then they'll train on them, feel the pieces. And then if they want to go into the gym, which a lot of people don't want to go in the showroom, they want to actually train in the gym, in the energy, in the atmosphere. But if they want to stay in the showroom, they can have that private experience. And our sales staff will talk them through
the equipment,
various pieces and whatnot. But also the showroom has enabled me to, which I don't want to really put this, but I'll fuck it. Allow big name athletes to come in and train.
Yeah.
Because we have a side door that brings people in. So this is, I mentioned in this person, and I'll leave it there, but we've had about 10 names that I can mention, but one only because he's posted.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury done his last camp.
Okay.
With Dante Wilder in the Arsenal strength training room.
Right.
He was very COVID worried because the last fight got cancelled. So somebody told me he lost like 40 million.
Wow.
On that fight because he was allowing his team to go out and party whilst he was a monk, and everybody brought back COVID to the household that he was staying in, so the fight got cancelled.
Stupid.
So they were all grouped together. They couldn't leave each other's sights.
Wow.
He was on it. So they would all come to the gym. He would train. And I will say this, since we're on the subject, Tyson Fury is probably the most professional athlete I've ever dealt with.
Mm.
And when I say that, I've got friends who are athletes and they match their beat to their own drum, and punctuality to me is a massive badge of honor.
Right.
This guy was at my gym at 10:50 every day for 11 o'clock start.
Mm.
And he told me prior to him, he called me and said, hey, I'll be there 11 o'clock. So I was like, oh, you'll be there 11:30, 12.
Yeah.
10:50. I'm at the back. Can you open up the door? I was like, gee, you're early.
You're
at the right place. And I will say this also. We have a lot of mutual friends. My grandfather used to do business with his family back in the day as well. Gypsy kind of business stuff.
Okay.
And, buying and selling horses and whatever else.
Yeah. Yep.
So we have a lot of mutual friends, and he was like, hey, Flex, do you mind if we go and take a picture at the front? I was like, what a gent.
Yeah.
What a gent. Absolute superstar. Hasn't forgot where he's come from. His feet are on the ground, and he's got the same people around him this day as he did 10, 15 years ago, which I love.
Yeah.
The grass is not
similar
greener.
to you. So tell me about the gym equipment business. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like in the showroom, you have your gym equipment company.
Yep. Arsenal Strength.
Arsenal Strength. Like, what kind of revenues is that company doing? Like, how long you had it?
So 2015 is when we started up the company. And we were literally, it was a conversation myself and my partner had. And I was traveling the world at that point in time with my sponsors in bodybuilding. I come back and he said, I'm all in. Let's fucking go. I was like, what? Hold on a minute. Yeah, he's like, let's go. Let's do this. Because he was with a pre-existing company prior to that, and he had some issues, and he realized after the pep talk we had, I was like, everybody is there because of you and your relationships. I'm not in the gym equipment space. I was kind of there to put the bug in his ear.
Yeah.
But as I said, I come back from a month tour of Australia and New Zealand from when I was with Gaspari, and he's got all in. So 2015 is when we started, and the company has now been able to, we were actually using a company to make a manufacture of gym equipment with our own blueprints and our patent equipment. So we hired engineers, we started to grow and grow. We outgrew our manufacture, and then we purchased a manufacturer. So we're based in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Prideful in saying made, American steel, American made by athletes for athletes. So yes, it's a lot more costly to have American steel. So the price points kind of, and the points, are a little bit different than going overseas.
Yep.
But the consistency of steel separates us from the rest of the pack.
Right.
The longevity of what you get and the pieces, and the consistency of every single piece coming out of the manufacturing plant.
Right.
With a stamp of approval, as opposed to buying something overseas, and such inconsistency with steel, which a lot of people don't know about. You could buy a $200,000 order and it's come from 3 or 4 different plants.
Right.
And the steel has different oxidization. So right now we've been able to scale significantly. We have 180 employees there.
180 employees.
Yeah, with everything under the umbrella of we have TGI, and there's a manufacturing plant that has its own entities to it too. So when we purchased the manufacturing plant, they have external business that
you acquired.
Yes, they so pop chips.
Pop chips?
Yeah. They make the components for pop chips, the bags and stuff. So
wow.
Yeah, and that department, nothing to do with Arsenal.
Yeah.
But so I'm Arsenal only, but the manufacturer anyway.
So this company's huge. Like, how much in gym equipment are you guys selling?
We're doing well. I don't want to watch. I got to watch my. I don't want any cousins hitting me up when they found out these numbers. Long distance.
The revenues, obviously, are at least 8 figures.
Yeah.
Are they in the 9 figures of revenue?
I think if we was to scale, there's a couple of things going on right now, and I think within, I would say, realistically, like 1.5 years, 2 years, we could be there.
You'll be there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We're doing very well.
Yeah.
The issues we're having right now is demand, keeping up with demand.
It's a good problem.
It's an incredible problem, and it's a very frustrating problem because we can't, being in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think we've hired every single welder that's in the freaking state.
Well, the problem is you're like, man, should we go overseas because we can't manufacture enough here?
Or automation.
Yeah. Do we just outsource it to somebody else? And
that's so we've looked at having a West Coast facility.
Yep.
Vegas has been mentioned, to have kind of the best of 20 in abundance.
Right.
So then if you have a gym that's or a gym, home gym, that's, hey, I only want a leg press and I want this and that. Okay. It takes it off the line.
Right.
So say somebody puts in since we've already mentioned it, $200,000 order, and somebody puts in a $20,000 order.
Yep.
Or let's just say somebody puts in a $6,000 order.
Right.
That goes in the line and gets treated exactly as if it was a small or a large.
Right.
So it slows the line down, So, and we're very blessed and very grateful for everybody's business, but the blessing in disguise for us was COVID,
Yeah.
because we were able to significantly scale during COVID, and because everybody wanted gym equipment, nobody could get anything. So
Yep.
our lead times were at about 8 to 9, 10 weeks.
Right.
I know they were pushed all the way back to 20 something.
Just like everything else.
Everything
Supply
else.
chain.
Yeah. And then steel issues, and everybody was like, oh, steel prices are going up. We don't have much steel. It's like, no, we've seen your yard. You're going to have steel.
So, I mean, the gym equipment, obviously, that's probably your biggest business.
Yes.
The clothing brand, I mean, you're wearing it right now. What's it called?
Culture.
Culture.
It really matches the moral integrities and the values of who I am. So culture is CLTR, culture, loyalty, trust, respect. Keep your circle small. Yeah, so keeping your circle small, and kind of like exactly whatever you've done, you know, it's culture to me is everything.
Right.
You know, I noticed straight away your incredible signage here in the office.
Mm-hmm.
You had no egos.
Core values, yeah.
Core values. You had
Play
a lot
fair,
of different things.
Train daily. That resonates with
Yeah.
you.
See,
Serve others.
I come in, I'm all eyes. I'm looking, I'm seeing, I'm absorbing, and I'm like, wow, I like this.
Yeah.
Doesn't live up to any of them, but
It's all for show.
joke. Disclaimer. No,
So, when did you start the clothing brand?
it's honestly relatively shiny new.
Okay.
Shiny new. So we're having our first. We had a soft launch.
Yep.
And we're now having this obviously this fall is going to be the majority of our big push, our first push.
All right. Well, you know, I need XXX jackets. So whenever you got a couple extra ones hanging around.
I actually have a box for you.
Yeah, that's my size.
You just trained too early. I've said that like so many times. It's gonna get old. No, but I do have a box for you. I do have a gift for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. What size are you?
Dude, I don't want to say on camera, but I truly am like a medium large. It just depends.
Okay. I got a large.
Okay.
But I can change whatever you need.
No, I'm gonna fit in the large.
Okay.
The large is good.
I will put that offer up to
Yeah.
to the plate.
Yeah.
We'll put that 20 pounds on you.
You know, if I'm swimming in the large, then we just
No,
know
you'd
I
be
got to
good.
eat more food.
It fits good. And then that's, you know, again, how I came about starting this up. My wife was really fed up of me moaning about clothes that I couldn't find any fitting in.
Yeah.
I was also a little bit bigger, but I like to be stylish, and I like to have nice.
Yeah. I mean,
fitting
look at
clothes.
this beard is well trimmed. The hair's on point. You know, looking good, dude.
Thank you. Same for you, bro.
Yeah.
I like the beard too. It's coming together nice.
This is my Patches O'Houlihan beard.
We'll work on that too if you want. We could put some ginger in there.
There we go.
Start having the accent like me.
Yep.
But no, so myself and my wife, we went and done this right. So it took us about a year
Yeah.
to do. And we work with some incredible. So we went and started looking at what we needed to do, step one, and that was hire somebody that literally took a company from a garage into a seven-figure company before
Right.
she exited. So we hired her.
Mhm.
So we acquired all her manufacturing options and relationships.
Right.
So we're working with guys that produce stuff for Lululemon, Fabletics, etc. So we done everything right from the get-go. We didn't want to just work with anybody off what it would be. What's his name? Ali? What the hell is it called?
Alibaba.
Yes. That guy. I lost my trail of thought there, but Alibaba.
Yep.
So yeah, we sought after the best people, and now we've got them relationships, and we've been able to now move into different sectors, and it's just another startup, one of 3 I've got going on right now.
Yeah. I had another big time Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler, in
Yeah.
here, and
Legend.
great guy. And we were just talking about, training and all that stuff, and then business, and how he kind of pioneered the way for a lot of bodybuilders to start monetizing their image. And he's got a supplement brand now
Yes, he does.
too. And I know supplements extremely high margin.
Yeah.
Have you done supplements?
I actually have a signature line with a company in Italy.
Okay.
So it's a different world. It's a very saturated world. Unfortunately, everybody's got a supplement company unless you have a name or you have something that shines.
NO Explode.
Yeah, I was actually sponsored, one of my first sponsors. One of my other sponsors, yeah, I was with BSN. And I was like the face for BSN for 7 years after Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
They signed me young. But with Jay Cutler, he's got the name.
Yeah.
He's got the following. And one thing about Jay is, if you look at a very early Jay Cutler, he was the cliche, right? The rag tops, the tank tops.
Yeah.
And then he evolved to then being the guy with form, nice fitting clothes, back to front hat. And then he's evolved into what he is now. So he's never stayed stagnant. He's always evolved. And he's always been, and one of the main reasons why I love Jay is he's always pushed business. Bodybuilding is business to him. So when you have a pioneer like that within the sport, that's the person I gravitate to. So Jay's a massive inspiration to me because, again, he showcased from a very young age. And when I was getting into the sport, he was pumping out DVDs and
he was telling me about that.
The money so I pumped out DVDs at a very young age. I mean, I was making on DVD sales, I would say, again, I wasn't a name. I only won Mr. Olympia yet, but I probably was making on my drop first week. I probably put out 40,000 in my first week. And then by the end of the year, it was like, 80, 90 from DVD sales.
And you weren't even anything yet.
And it cost me $2,000 to make. Yeah.
And what were the sponsors paying back then? Like, what does NO Explode like?
Oh my God, we're going to upset a lot of people watching this, a lot of bodybuilders.
Hey, it's all good. That's
what business. So I went in with that in mind. So I was with a company called Gaspari Nutrition for a number of years, and Rich is still a big brother to me, incredible guy.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is for my scenario with him was I was being offered some ridiculous money by the sponsors, and he was like 10x.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, and I stayed there 2 years, and as the company was in this transitional period, like I said, this is kind of being the last year. I just started dating my wife. She came in, she had kind of a ruthless attitude.
She's like, it is what it is.
She's like, babe, I'm seeing this from the outside in. Your loyalty is your problem.
Yeah.
2 years in and it's nothing changed. So BSN was one of the 3 or 4 companies that came to me. And I went out of contract, so legalities, there's nothing I could do now, but it's 8 years, more than that. We had a meeting in Boca Raton, which was literally down the street to me at the time. And they put a contract in front of me. I looked at it. I was like, oh my God. And I said, life-changing.
Really?
I slid it back.
You slid it back?
I went home. I told my wife. She's like, this is going to be the best or the worst thing ever. I went back in. The numbers were juicy.
Like they increased it a lot.
Can you say? The beginning of my I'll tell you this. One of my bonuses alone was $100,000.
Okay. And what was it like, just for winning Mr. Olympia or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of them. And then I got a bonus for every show I done. So I competed in.
How many shows you want me to do?
I probably made in bonuses with my other sponsors too. Maybe just one, about $500,000 just in bonuses.
Right.
And then my contract per month paid more than what I won the Mr. Olympia.
What does that pay? I don't even know.
60.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, Jay, I remember him telling me about the DVDs he was sending out. Like, he had his friends and family shipping DVDs from his house. I was like, holy crap. But he's like, people still buy the DVDs today.
I know. We just cleaned my storage unit, and there we discovered about a few thousand. I've got what's it called? No Stone Unturned 1, No Stone Unturned 2, The Welsh Dragon. All of them had names. And as the years went on, I actually invested more money into the DVDs. But I mean, you put in like what I put out on content for YouTube right now was pretty much what we were doing for DVDs, because there was no YouTube back then.
Right.
So I'd obviously film more of a duration.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of story to it. But the DVD sales were great, because I think out of the door, packaged, wrapped, barcode was like $1.
It's $1. Yeah, and you're selling it for what?
$40.
Yeah.
30 something, $40.
Yeah.
So yeah, times have changed. Social media has changed the good and the bad, right? You just have to evolve. You can't live in the past. A lot of these old school guys that are coming from the 90s, they're like, oh, social media, this and that. I didn't want to jump on, and now they're like, shit. It's kind of how I feel about TikTok, because I just got on TikTok.
You'll blow up quick.
I'm trying. It's a lot of fun. I'm realizing that the main reason why I stayed away from it was kind of like what most people do, right? I thought it was kind of a different app that was just going to fizzle out.
Yeah.
And then I realized that more of my friends were getting on it and not dancing.
And not like making normal content.
And then I see you on there.
Yep. You're like, all right, if he thinks it's good.
And it's kind of like the old Instagram days, right? Where it's not as, I would say, what would be the term?
It's not like, I guess, corporate yet.
Yeah, I've been stuck at that number I have for a long time.
Yeah.
And nobody can work out why, because I get 30-something thousand followers and then I get 28,000 unfollows.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
It's weird.
It is weird.
Super weird.
If you're watching this, guys, and you know how to do, hit me up in the comment section. No, but it's again, you mentioned Jay, right? In the business side of things, he was a massive pioneer for me. And when I transitioned into me coming from Wales and with the entrepreneurial mindset that I had from a very young age,
right?
It was a segue into business, because I don't know what time, if we got time or not, but
yeah,
my entrepreneurial sort of mindset started at a very young age. My dad worked in steel, just retired after being in steel for 40-something years.
Ironic that you ended up back in the steel business.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. And my mum, yeah, actually, I've never actually thought about it.
But it's not the Wales steel.
No. It's actually, yeah. But, and my mum was a nurse. And unfortunately, because she had disgenital hips, she was retired very young. And she was mentally ready to keep working, but physically. So I see my mum deteriorate significantly over the years.
Right.
To the point where it was a massive motivation for me to make money to help my mum. Seeing my mum literally cry, climbing up the stairs to go to the restroom, the toilet, was very painful as a young kid, And I couldn't rely on rugby for me to get myself out of, create this fortune.
Yeah.
So at 19 years old, the same time as 18 years old, I started bodybuilding, but at 18 years old, I started up my moving company. And I grew that significantly to the point.
I didn't even know you had a moving company.
Yeah, to the point. Yeah, I know you have, your own stories in flipping and stuff.
Big catches.
Yeah. So I started up at 18 years old, and I grew it significantly to the point where I had 3 Young Businessman of the Year awards, an award of Prince Charles, a KEF scholarship. Don't ask me what KEF stands for, but I had a KEF scholarship. And I grew that, and the branding that I had was pretty much, who do you want to turn up at your house? These guys, us, clean cut, shaven uniforms. Nobody was doing that. And also, because I'd already been exposed to whatever it was, I seen, FedEx trucks. What's it, UPS? The black truck, yeah. So FedEx trucks and UPS trucks. And the uniforms they used to come out in. I don't think they wear them anymore, but they used to have a brown uniform.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, look at that. That's sexy, That is what you want.
Yeah,
Turn it
it's
up at your
professional.
door.
Yeah.
As opposed to these guys who are wearing, fucking Kappa and Adidas and whatever was in Puma or whatever else was in fashion back then.
Yeah.
Turning up and looking like scruffs.
Yeah.
Also, because the town I lived in is a very blue-collar steel mining town, renting a huge truck was not really practical.
Right.
And they would fill a quarter of this truck up. So what I done was I seen the size of these trucks, same style, the FedEx, the UPS, and I purchased a small van. And I grew that very fast. And I charged per load. And I would really pack that load into. And from there, I grew from word of mouth more than anything else. So no matter what I put in the ads of Yellow Pages, no matter press I had, word of mouth was my money. And I was able then to grow that business to the point where I got in with the local council. I got in with the NHS. So I was working with the NHS, which is National Health Service, where they wanted a bed moved from one hospital to the next. Crazy. Obviously,
you get these contracts,
crazy
with big
contracts.
companies to do it.
They'd pay me something stupid to move a bed to there, and it was sometimes in the same building,
Yeah.
the other side.
What I never realized about you is you were such an entrepreneur first and foremost,
So
you know, and then bodybuilding was just a way to be entrepreneurial in the same way that, you know, I do social media as an entrepreneurial endeavor to, you know, get business and do things.
So the business aspect of bodybuilding, the business aspect of going into bodybuilding, had I not known that there was, you know, that big component to it, I wouldn't have gone into it. It wouldn't,
because you went into bodybuilding initially because you just wanted to compete and
I wanted a free gym membership. That was the same timeline. So it would just transitioned off. And then when I won the British Nationals and I went to the US and I got to see, you know, Gold's Gym and got to see Santa Monica and I got to see Venice Beach. And, you know, you got to remember too, I come from a small town in Wales.
Mm-hmm.
I love my town is incredible. It's taught me so many core values, but going to America, there was perceptions, right? You know, and having walked into the Firehouse, which is connected with Gold's Gym, a lot of bodybuilders eat there, famous people eat there. And I'm having breakfast on my first day, and there's a chick sitting next to me in a bikini. I thought this fucking country's incredible. Bikini and pancakes. Sign me up for this.
I'm gonna live here.
So then I went back home and I started saving and working to make my next plans of coming out here. So I lived off my savings for a long time. I literally moved with a friend, trained at Gold's Gym every day, and nothing happened. That was the gym that everybody told me to be at. And then I heard whispers about this gym called Coliseum Gym, which is owned by now a member of my gym, Mila Sachev, a good friend of mine. Gone full circle. It was his gym, and that's where all the Flex magazine photo shoots would take place. And I literally got in the 405, got in my friend's car, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, hit that freaking 405 rush hour traffic. No clue. We ain't come from Wales.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this? Got to Fullerton at like 7 p.m. at night. Walked into this gym, and it was literally it was a magazine. There was photo shoots going on. There was the best pros, and it was kind of Fullerton is not. It's not, you know, it's not off the beaten track, but it was an industrial area. It wasn't next to a beach.
Right.
You didn't have superstars walking around the gym like, you know, Hollywood superstars, but you did have the best in the sport.
Wow.
And I was like, I need to be here. So I literally became friends with a guy, and within 1 or 2 days of me communicating with this guy, I was like, I need to be there. I need to be, I know we're new friends, but I got to move myself up there. So I slept on a sofa for 1.5 years.
Wow.
People don't want to hear these stories.
No.
I had this crazy successful moving company, was able to get everything I ever wanted, pay, you know, for things and look after my parents, and then give it all up to come to the US and sleep on a sofa because this new dream of mine was burning. And I knew I could be the best. Even though Ronnie Coleman was the best bodybuilder in the world. You got to remember, kid, 190, Ronnie Coleman, 290. But I truly believed I could be the best. And it took some time, you know. But I also didn't want to go back to Wales with my tail between my legs because my mother and father were always welcoming me back home. Every time I spoke, hey, you know, you ready to come home? No, you won't believe this. I had a photo shoot today. And it was the small 1 to 2 things that I homed in on as opposed to the 10 things that weren't going on.
Right.
That got me through them times.
So I've always thought this way, but like in my mind, I've always said, I'm going to be the best at whatever it is I'm pursuing, right? Sometimes you come up short, sometimes you hit it, but nonetheless, against all odds, like I truly believe I'm going to win. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to be the best. The same thing you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Where does that confidence come from?
I don't really know because my mom and dad are not the same people I am.
Mine either.
And I think it's because of that reason that I've seen my mom and my dad answer to the man, sign into a boss that don't give a shit about them.
Right.
And see my dad, especially working in steel, you know, his boss that company was sold 3 times over. And that company was then based in India. And my dad was just a number that worked for X amount of time and was taking this much wage. So where does that confidence come from? I think it's the thought pattern of trying to improve my life and also my family's life. And nobody else is going to do it but me. It's on me.
Yeah. No, 1,000%. For me, what I have realized in my life is each time I stack a win and do something that people thought I couldn't do,
Yeah.
it gives me the confidence to do the next big thing.
It's a deep question to answer, I think, because also I grew up with a really bad speech impediment. I couldn't say my what was it? I used to have a lisp. Still there slightly, but you know, if you asked me at at a very young age, or you know, I was able to see into the future, and I was being told I'd be speaking to tens of thousands of people with confidence.
Yeah,
I'd be like, "You're fucking nuts. There's no way," because I was Jack the lad in circles, but then new faces. No, my whole life is new faces. I have to walk into the room and make myself available, introduce myself if they don't know who I am. But the majority of the rooms that I'm walking into now, everybody knows who I am. So I have to pace myself with that same energy from the first person or working an expo to, I'm very blessed to have a 2-3 hour line of people, and I talk to every single one of them.
Yep.
So the person in the back is going to be pissed off until they get to the front, but they get the same amount of time and the same amount of energy. But I'll tell you this, my wife tells me all the time, she's like, I don't know how you do it, but I don't know how she does what she does too. But for me, I love doing what I do. I genuinely love talking to my fans, my followers, and genuinely giving a shit at what they have to say. Not a robotic, same answer, question asked, tech, you know, whatever answer given. I love asking questions, especially if they got kids. I make the kids feel part of whatever experience their parents are. Because if you speak to the kids and you spend time with them, not only do they have a lasting memory about you too, but the parents are going to walk away and be like, wow. Because if somebody made effort with my kid, and I remember all these people I'm friends with that are, you know, big in their own sports, big in their own genres, that I made an effort with my daughter Addie, I'm like, dude, you moved to my favorites on my list.
I like that person.
You get a star.
Well, dude, I'm gonna be looking at the star at Dragon's Lair. I'm waiting for my star, and you know, I'm gonna go in the posing room. I'm gonna use all the resources now. I might even come at 9 o'clock and see someone. You know,
Wow.
make my presence felt there.
Not the skeleton shift.
Yeah,
At least you're keeping dust away in the morning.
exactly.
No,
Exactly.
But I do love the fact that one thing I will say about yourself for all the viewers watching, we had a conversation about you coming to the gym. And you're a man of your word. And I like that. I didn't have to chase you. I didn't have to say anything. You hit me up and you're like, hey, I'm going to come to the gym. And there was some sort of either miscommunication where I missed something. And I say, you can excuse me on this, but you probably remember this better than me. But I was like, when you coming in? Oh, I've already joined.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I'm going to look after you. No, I've already joined. You got to look after your friends.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is a good dude.
Appreciate that, bro.
No, there's a lot of other things I can say, but you know, gotta keep you humble.
We'll keep it on the Well, guys, make sure you follow my boy Flex, especially on TikTok. It's always good seeing you, bro. We'll get a lift in. And guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Thanks for watching all the way through on this podcast. It means a lot to me. I've also done another interview that I think is going to be super helpful for you. So make sure you watch this one now coming up next.